Good morning to everyone. I hope that you are enjoying our devotionals and our working through the Gospel of John. Just want to thank everyone that's contributing, George, Luan, Linda, and you'll see quite a few other faces contributing towards these devotionals. Friends, our whole plan for this and our heart for this is that we can stay connected as we study the Gospel of John together. The feedback that I've been getting is very positive, and I truly hope that you're enjoying this. You can hear I'm talking fast because I need to get through this. I don't want to keep you too long. But friends, we're working through the Gospel of John. It's one of the Gospels that focuses on Jesus as the Son of God. Now, as we study the Gospel of John, you're going to start seeing a pattern. You're going to start seeing different characteristics of God that is reflected in the way that Jesus lived. First thing is you're going to see a lot of miracles in the book of John. You start seeing Jesus' heart and his compassion towards people and how it is expressed. But you're also going to see how severely Jesus speaks to religious people that just wants to get stuff from him, and doesn't want to get to know him. So as we study through this, we see his willingness to stop and help. And as we go through chapter 6, I think you're going to start seeing this reflected or shown as we study chapter 6. We see in the beginning of John chapter 6, Jesus is on his way to cross the Sea of Galilee, and he notices a crowd starting to follow him. And the first thing that was quite interesting for me is how Jesus was willing to pause on his priorities and his focus to minister to the crowd. Friends, he didn't have to stop, but he decided to stop. And just in this season that we are in, it is so easy to get caught up with everything that's happening in our economy, with our health system, with all the cares of this world that is forcing us to focus on ourselves and protect ourselves, that we forget to stop and care for the crowd. Who are the people that God placed in our lives as disciples of Jesus to reach out to, that needs to know Jesus? The next thing is you see that Jesus creates a problem by stopping, and he walks up the hill and he says, he sat down and he spoke to his disciples. He didn't speak to the crowd, he spoke to the disciples, and he said, now we have a crowd, how will we solve the problem? So I think it was quite a nervous moment for the disciples, because immediately we see Philip responding and saying, we can't care for them. Andrew says, here's a child with bread and fish, maybe that will help. But the point here is Jesus creates a problem and he says to his disciples, how will you respond to it? Friends, in this time we are facing a problem. We're facing a culture that is dealing with the fear of death and the fear of discomfort. That's the problem. How will we respond? Will we be able to present Jesus to them in a way that meets their heart need and not just their physical need? And we see that the gospel is enough. I want to just point out, you can see as you read through John 6, it says that the crowd ate as much as they wanted. It says when they had eaten their fill, they took 12 baskets up of what was left over. Friends, the gospel is enough for the people in our society and for the crisis that our world is going through. Jesus is enough. If people find him, they find what they truly need. It's not just an answer to their physical needs. Now, I'm not even going to pause on Jesus walking on water. It's quite a miracle, but I'm not going to pause on that. I want to go straight to, I think, the most poignant point that I can share with you. This is so important. Is most of the chapter is spent on Jesus having a discussion with the crowds. They ask him for a sign and he refused to give them another one. I think in the back of Jesus' head he said, can you not remember what I just did? Yet you ask me for another sign. You just want to run on signs. Friends, the point that I'm trying to make here is people will follow Jesus for two reasons. The one reason is to consume what he can give for them. And the other reason that they follow Jesus, the other reason that the disciples follow Jesus is to commune with him and become more like him. And that is an answer that all of us have to ask. is when God does something that we don't like, will we stop following him? If you stop following God when He does something you don't like, then you're a consumer of the gospel. But if Jesus does something that you might not be comfortable with, that you don't fully understand, and you say to Him, Jesus, I'll keep following you. And as Peter said, Peter answered and he said, you have the words of eternal life. We believe and know that you are the Holy One of God. Friends, that is the revelation that will sustain you and that will make you an answer in a time like this. This is my heart for you. I trust, friends, that we as a church can be communers with Jesus, not consumers of the gospel. Because communers always give, consumers always take. I pray that God bless you. I know this has been a long devotional, but I trust that it gives you something to hold on to and to wrestle through. God bless you.